CTV3 News. The North is mourning as a traffic accident claims the life of Labor officer John Tesacum. He is trapped inside his vehicle which landed in a pool of water. In other news from here in the North, Campol Rosado confirmed Benigno Loria's arrest in Houston, but is he truly a member of the CGNG cartel? In the news from the Caribbean, Prime Minister John Briceño is back from the 58th CARICOM meeting. He highlights progress in free movement, sugar market, and humanitarian support. And our women in uniform celebrate Women's Month with unity and pride. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Monday, March 2nd, 2026.
From whiskeys and wines to elegantly crafted cocktails. Paired with charcuterie boards and perfectly seasoned steak bites, and much more. Perfect for celebrations, quiet nights, and every special occasion in between. 7 Notes Wine and Spirits, where every sip hits the right note.
ExpressNet now has up to 400 megabytes of high-speed internet. Choose the speed that fits you. From faster browsing to faster gaming. Connect more devices at once. Or bundle it with Express Plus and HBO Max. Internet and streaming entertainment, all in one.
Yeah, faster starts here.
Sign up today at any Centaur office or contact us to get started.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
The way some people are talking you'd never know, but the most blatant nepotism and fleecing of BTL took place under UDP when Dean Barrow was Prime Minister. Barrow placed his son Anwar on BTL's board in 2009 as soon as he nationalized the company, which would eventually cost Belizeans almost $650 million for shares barely worth $200 million. By 2014, Anwar was appointed executive chairman with extravagant salary and perks. Under him, BTL spent wildly on ventures that did not materialize and never brought any returns. Under the Barrows, BTL's profits plummeted from $38 million in 2009 to $17 million in 2019, and $10 million in 2020, as the company hardly paid dividends to government and people of Belize. Anwar Barrow has no moral authority to talk about BTL, as it was under his nepotistic rule, appointed by his father, that BTL was most blatantly fleeced.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
We recently formed MOUs with the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute, which is the education arm of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, and also with the American Culinary Federation to do culinary training. We're here to celebrate our accomplishments. And this is not about replacing Belizean cuisine. This is about, we want the Belizean cuisine, we want the Belizean richness and diversity. Right? So this is about your skills. You all know what you all learned, so it's about transferring that skill.
We want to inspire this career because, you know, it's amazing. You love what you do, right? And it really is something that I think we can inspire other young Belizeans to undertake. And it's now part of your responsibility as those who have received this training and see a pathway for greater things.
Just to put it into perspective, there's only about 6,000 certified executive chefs in North America. There is only 69 certified master chefs in the world. There is less than 10 certified executive pastry chefs in this entire world. And now in Belize, we have 3 sitting in this room.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. The Ministry of Immigration, Governance and Labor is tonight in mourning as their esteemed colleague and labor officer, 34-year-old John Tesacum of Joseito Leal Corozal, lost his life in a traffic accident on Friday on the Philip Golson Highway. The incident occurred at approximately 3:30 p.m. between miles 67 and 62 on the highway. Upon arrival, officers found the vehicle submerged in water on the roadside ditch. Inside the vehicle, personal fire department and police discovered a male Hispanic found Tesacum in the driver's seat, unresponsive and partially submerged underwater. The vehicle was upright and the driver was extricated with great difficulty. But despite efforts to revive him, Tesacum remained unconscious and was transported via ambulance to Northern Regional Hospital, NHR, for urgent medical treatment. Preliminary investigations indicate that the victim was traveling towards San Jose Village when he overtook a black 4Runner SUV. Subsequently, he lost control of his vehicle, which flipped and plunged into the ditch, landing upside down and partially submerged.
Inside the vehicle was a male person. He was identified as John Tesacum. Rock District, upon arrival, this a Nissan Rogue overturned in a drain. Inside the vehicle was a male person. He was identified as John Tesacum. He was taken for medical treatment, where he succumbed to his injuries. Information is that Tesacum was driving the vehicle on a curve when he attempted to overtake a vehicle. He lost control and he crashed into the drain. This matter is under investigation.
The investigation into the accident continues as authorities seek to determine the precise circumstances leading to the tragic loss. The arrest of Corozal resident Benigno Loria in Houston has garnered attention from Belizean authorities since he is being associated with the notorious Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG. Today, in an interview with the media, Police Commissioner Dr. Richard Rosado confirmed the detention of Loria and revealed that he had been a person of interest for the Belize Police Department during his residence in Belize. Though he declined to confirm any direct ties to cartel operations, the Compol did elaborate that Belizean police have been working to gather evidence against Loria amid suspicions of involvement in illicit activities.
All I can say for now that during his time in Belize, he was a person of interest for the Belize Police Department.
What do you know about his departure from the country and the police's search for him during their investigation?
Well, like I said, he has been a person of interest in several incidents in the north and was a person of interest for the police department.
Did police actively pursue him in Belize while he was here?
Well, we were trying to build cases against him, but we know that he was involved in several activities that is questionable.
Was any of those activities linked to investigations involving cartel operations?
All I will say that he was a person of interest for the Belize Police Department.
Now, how is the department working with U.S. officials, perhaps to get him back the answer to crimes if a case has been built against him?
I would have to check with my investigators to see if we have anything to charge him. But as far as I know, he was a person of interest in several incidents that happened in Belize.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE announced that Lorias' arrest was based on his final removal order for 2024, along with an active arrest warrant and alleged gang affiliation. He is currently in custody and faces deportation proceedings. Today, Prime Minister John Briceño briefed the nation on key discussions emerging from Belize's participation in the 58th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community CARICOM, held in Basseterre, St. Kitts and Nevis from February 24th to the 27th, 2026. Speaking following his return, Prime Minister Briceño outlined the several priority areas addressed during the high-level regional summit, including the advancement of free movement within CARICOM member states, as well as CARICOM free market for sugar. The Prime Minister also addressed conversations surrounding humanitarian assistance to Cuba. According to Briceño, the matter was raised during exchanges that included United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who was present at the meeting. Leaders examined avenues through which regional partners could support Cuba on humanitarian grounds while navigating existing international policies and diplomatic considerations.
We were, what should I say, we were lucky that, we are happy that Secretary of State Marco Rubio visited and joined us at a meeting to be able to discuss certain issues in the region. And one of them, of course, was the issue of Cuba about preparing or providing humanitarian support to the Cuban people. And the United States had provided already some assistance, and so we then, during the discussions, then we agreed that we will be able to provide that. We also, as heads, we continue to discuss about the free movement of people within some of our countries, look at different markets, for instance, sugar, that's important to us. Know that we're going to have producing refined sugar. Countries like Trinidad and Tobago would no longer be able to say, well, we have to import refined sugar because we don't do it in Belize. So these are some of the major issues that we were discussing in the area, in CARICOM, that I believe that can bring great benefit to Belize.
Prime Minister Briceño described the conference as productive and reaffirmed Belize's commitment to active participation within CARICOM. Prime Minister John Briceño is calling on the United States to strengthen its support for Belize's security forces as part of efforts to prevent drug cartels from gaining a foothold in the country. The Prime Minister revealed that he recently raised the issue with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, emphasizing the need for enhanced training, intelligence sharing, and modern security equipment to bolster Belize's law enforcement capacity. Briceño warned that without sustained international cooperation, criminal organizations could expand their influence in the region. Referring to the recent surge in cartel-related violence in Mexico following the death of a cartel leader, the Prime Minister said the situation serves as a stark reminder of how quickly organized crime can destabilize communities. He cautioned that if Belize does not remain vigilant and adequately prepared, criminal networks could strengthen their operations over the next decade to a point where national authorities might struggle to contain them. Briceño stressed that Belize must act proactively rather than reactively, noting that partnerships with the United States and regional allies are critical in combating transnational crime. Meanwhile, local law enforcement has increased patrols in the Curacao Free Zone, even as conditions appear relatively calm. The heightened presence is described as a precautionary measure aimed at deterring illicit activity and reassuring the public amid regional security concerns.
Well, what we have done is that now the Minister of Police is also in charge of the free zone. And we have ensured now that the police can do more rounds in the area, ensuring that everything is running properly. So far, things have seemed to have quieted down. Well, certainly on the other side, because the Mexican government has sent a total about 10,000 soldiers and the national police, local police, to be able to go after some of these cartels, and they've been arresting a lot of people. So things have kind of eased up somewhat, but we from our side, we continue to monitor the free zone. Well, they were never in this free zone, but we continue to monitor the river and that area to ensure that we can keep these people out. My discussion with Secretary Rubio was that it is important that we get the necessary assistance, especially from the United States. We need equipment, we need intelligence, and we need training. And the United States have all three of them. And I believe that they can help us now. I've been saying it from the time I became Prime Minister. If we do not act decisively now, 10 years from now, we could probably be looking at a different Belize. And we don't want to go down that road. We do not have the resources, we do not have the wherewithal to be able to fight off the cartels if they come into Belize and they get fully involved in Belize. These people are ruthless, and they either use money or their guns, and they have no regard for people as long as you do what they want. And so for us it's important to know, to ensure that they do not come into Belize, and that's what we've been doing.
Coming up next, historic unity women from Belize's security forces march together in celebratory show of strength. Stay tuned.
The Orange Walk Town Council is inviting applications from suitably qualified and motivated individuals to fill 5 garbage fee collector positions within our revenue department. Minimum requirements: high school diploma, friendly and people-oriented personality, tech-savvy, must own reliable transportation, preferably a motorcycle, honest and dependable. Interested applicants are asked to submit the following documents: application letter, copy of high school diploma, valid social security card, 2 character references. Applications must be submitted in person to the Orange Walk Town Council office by February 20th, 2026. Join our team and contribute to keeping Orange Walk clean and organized.
From whiskeys and wines to elegantly crafted cocktails, paired with charcuterie boards and perfectly seasoned steak bites, and much more. Perfect for celebrations, quiet nights, and every special occasion in between. 7 Notes Wine and Spirits, where every sip hits the right note.
The Civil Registry Department and Vital Statistics Unit provides comprehensive information services to assist citizens in obtaining official documentation related to key life events. You can apply for birth, death, marriage, adoption, or deed poll certificates for records that have already been registered. You can also request tailored information extracts or certified copies of documents about specific life events. All Vital Statistics information services are available through the new Civil Registry and Vital Statistics System, CRVS. You can complete all services online from the comfort of your own home, or if you prefer face-to-face interaction or need additional support, you can visit their nearest office to complete any service. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. Visit crvs.gov.bz today to access our services.
There's a saying I often return to, and that is a Chinese saying that says, The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Today, Belize chooses now because Belize has always lived under the shade of the tree. Remember Sobumbra floreo. Our forests, mangroves, rivers, and farms are not just features of our landscape, they are part of who we are as a people. They protect us from storms, feed our families, support livelihoods, and anchor our resilience in a changing climate. But we also know this truth. What we do not protect, we will eventually lose.
Greening Belize, 1,000,000 trees for climate and sustainable development. Our forest cover is declining, especially after the fire season. What will be achieved? Restore and reforested lands, significant increase in hectares restored by 2035. Enhance carbon sequestration. We'll have improved data, mapping, and reporting systems with this. Institutional readiness, feasibility study and design for a national forestry incentive program. Community mobilization, which will build capacity and increase participation nationally, and improve governance.
For all environmentally conscious individuals and groups, CBOs, NGOs, community organizations, universities, come in to do their part to plant trees to assist in the restoration initiative for the country of Belize.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
Primera llegada con peligro por parte de Pot. Vemos la repetición. Llegan los linderos del área. La número 7 llegó con todo Pot. Estamos en vivo, en directo a través del canal 53 de Centaur. Izquierda viene cámara. El número 7 saca el disparo largo. El disparo de cámara.
Nosotros somos los campeones, estamos listos para National.
Prime Minister John Briceño has weighed in on the ongoing severance dispute between the Belize Telemedia Limited BTL and the Belize Communication Workers for Justice BCWJ, describing the company's latest offer as fair and urging affected employees to accept the payments and bring the matter to a close. BTL recently announced that it is prepared to pay owed severance directly to former employees, effectively removing the union as intermediary in the disbursement process. The company has maintained that this approach is intended to expedite payments to those who qualify. In outlining its position, BTL also clarified the structure of interest payments on the severance sums. The company says it is prepared to pay 6% interest calculated from the date of the court's ruling in November of last year. On Friday, members of the BCWJ staged a protest in Belize City, reiterating their call for fairness and advocating for what they believe is a just compensation for their members. The union also has maintained that its involvement is necessary to ensure transparency and proper representation in the settlement process. Commenting on the standoff, Prime Minister Briceño said he believes BTL's offer is reasonable under the circumstances. He encouraged the former employees to collect what is owed to them and move forward, noting that prolonged disputes could delay much-needed payments. The Prime Minister expressed hope that the matter can be resolved amicably, bringing closure to all parties involved.
No, I think that BTL. Remember that BTL has gotten, I think, 3 different lawyers have given them. They have done their research and felt their recommendation is that they are not legally bound to provide the severance pay after a certain amount of years. I believe, though, even though BTL felt that with the with the payment that they give them at the end of when they start working, it was inferred that that's part of their severance, but it was never spelled out. I do believe that we need to respect the rights of all of our workers, and we felt, and our advice certainly to our board members was that that BTL should pay the severance. Why go to court? Might as well settle with them, and they agreed to make that recommendations. It's millions of dollars. It's a lot of money, and they're offering a 3%. Now the other group now is insisting on 6%. They are saying BTL is saying, okay, we are prepared to give 6% since the judgment, but going back, we only prepared to pay 3%. I think it's reasonable, and I urge all the BTL employees to sign up and to get their payments, and so we can close this chapter and move on.
Historic milestone: women representing Belize's the police department, Belize Defense Force, and Belize Coast Guard united in a march for the very first time, marking a significant moment in the country's observance of Women's Month. The unprecedented event underscored the growing influence and leadership of women within Belize's security sectors and celebrate under the theme, Uniting Women in Law Enforcement for a Safer Belize. The joint march served as a powerful symbol of solidarity, resilience, and progress, illustrating the increasing presence of women in roles traditionally dominated by men. Notably, women now constitute approximately 33% of the Belize Police Department, reflecting a positive trend towards greater gender diversity and inclusion.
I'm happy to say that the Belize Police Department, we have a total strength of 2,451. Out of those 2,451, 817 are females. So approximately 33% of our strength are females. I also want to add that in terms of ratio-wise, men to men, male to female, we have a higher percentage of females that are supervisors when compared to men.
Is that because the department has been prioritizing in its intake process and promotion process women?
In all our intake, the percentage of women have always been at least 25%.
And then in promotion?
And in promotion, we also have an equal amount in terms of promotion, in terms of supervisors, in terms of the different rank, with the male counterpart. Honestly, I am grateful and I'm thankful for all the security forces, to the Commander Coast Guard, the Commander BDF, for them to have agreed that we come together and celebrate women as a collaborative front rather than individually. We have a number of activities throughout the month of March, including the recognition symposium, the retreat. So there's a number of activities that we have planned for Women's Month to show our appreciation for all the women in the security forces.
Organizer of the event, Deputy Commissioner of Police Sandra Bowden, emphasized that this collective display of strength and cooperation highlights the strides Belize has made towards gender equality within its law enforcement and defense agencies.
We have about 70 Belize Defense Force women. We have about 50 Belize Coast Guard members, and we have about 530 police officers parading with us today.
From all over the country?
From all over the country. So it is very essential for our country and the world to know that we as women play a vital role in the security of our country. We have participated in all of the events that our different organizations have to offer to our country, and we come together to celebrate this year, knowing that when we celebrate together, when we participate together, that we are stronger. Yeah, there are many challenges for us as women in law enforcement, particularly in policing. The main challenge, or one of the main challenge, being that as mothers, we have our role to play, and then we still have to come out and do what the men do.
So, daycare, is that something that's being looked at probably?
So, daycare was an issue for us a while ago, and a daycare was established here in Belize City in Raccoon Street. However, there was minimal participation from the officers, even though it was something that they were clamoring for. And so that daycare center is no longer in operation.
Would you like it to come back?
I am sure that if we did a survey across the department, then we would know more or less where the officers stand and whether or not they would want it to come back.
The march not only celebrated this achievement but also showcased the commitment of Belize's security forces to fostering a more inclusive and collaborative environment. Friday, February 27 marked a significant milestone in regional diplomacy as the 58th regular meeting of the Caribbean Community CARICOM heads of government concluded. The landmark gathering, held over several days, brought together leaders from the Caribbean's most influential nations to discuss pressing regional issues, including economic development, climate resilience, and security. In a decisive and unified stance, CARICOM leaders held a media conference at the conclusion of the meeting, during which they reaffirmed their unwavering support for Belize concerning its long-standing territorial and maritime dispute with Guatemala.
Heads of government received an update on the Guatemala, Belize, and Belize, Honduras cases before the International Court of Justice. They commended the parties for seeking a peaceful resolution to all legal claims against Belize's land and insular territories and any maritime areas pertaining to those territories. They called on all parties to abide by and implement the ICJ decisions when delivered. Heads of government reaffirmed their steadfast support for the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and security of Belize.
Support underscores the community's commitment to Belize's sovereignty and territorial integrity, emphasizing the importance of peaceful and diplomatic resolution in accordance with international law. The leaders reiterated their backing for Belize's effort to resolve the dispute through dialogue and adherence to the principles outlined by the Organization of American States, OAS, and the United Nations. Today officially marked the beginning of Women's Month in Belize, a time dedicated to recognizing the achievements, resilience, and contributions of women across the country and around the world. Women's Month is observed in March and centers around International Women's Day, celebrated annually on March 8. In Belize, the month is marked by a series of activities designed to spotlight women's empowerment, leadership, and community impact. Schools, organizations, and advocacy groups are expected to host forums, educational campaigns, health fairs, and recognition ceremonies showcasing the strength and influence of Belizean women. Prime Minister John Braseno today delivered a special message to women across the nation as the country prepares to commemorate International Women's Day and a month of activities celebrating women's power and progress.
More and more I've been a person that I've always believed that women have been playing a very integral role in the development of Belize, and that we have not been giving them the acknowledgement that they deserve. And I do believe that they can do even more in the development of Belize. Imagine close to 40%, I think, is the last number of women do not work. And in some instances, many instances, they do not work because, well, many of them have to take care of the children at home. They provide at home. And we don't count that as an economic activity, but when you think about it, it is an economic activity. And so we need to recognize that kind of work that women are putting into our economy. But the biggest challenge for them is that in many instances, when their children are young adults, they don't need to be in the home as much as before, and they try to get a job. They have they don't have the skills that are needed in the economy. And so we need to be able to find a way that to provide some kind of training for them. We presently just signed a loan with IDB and the government of Taiwan, ICDF, for $30 million. And the idea behind that is we want to be able to improve the equipment and the services and the training that is being provided at our IT vets, and then to be able to provide special programs for women so that they can go there and so we can train them so that they could easily get into the workforce and can easily be able to find a job. We want to equip them to be able to work. And so I say all of this to make the point that I have a great regard for women. And my wife always tells me, Women's Day is not one day a year, it's every day. That every day we should recognize the tremendous work that women do for our country, be it in the workforce or be it at home. And I want to take the opportunity to commend them, to commend all women in Belize, and to say that as a country and as a people, and especially us as men, that we appreciate all the work that they do for our families and for this country.
As Belize joins the global community in honoring women this March, the message is clear: the empowerment of women strengthens families, communities, and the nation as a whole. Prime Minister John Briceño has reaffirmed Belize's solidarity with Cuba amid ongoing challenges facing that country, stating that Belize stands ready to offer assistance where possible. Speaking on the situation, the Prime Minister said the government of Belize is closely monitoring developments and has expressed its willingness to provide humanitarian support. He noted the long-standing relationship between Belize and Cuba, particularly in areas such as healthcare and education, and emphasized the importance of regional cooperation during difficult times. Briceño also addressed concerns regarding Belizean students currently studying in Cuba. He confirmed that the government has committed to offering any form of assistance necessary to ensure their safety and well-being. This includes facilitating their return home should they choose to do so.
Last year we said we were going to provide money to both Jamaica and to Cuba. And we have already managed to give the assistance to Jamaica. With Jamaica, what we did, we just sent the money for them so that they can decide what best they would need. Now with Cuba, what we have to do, and we'll be working with we hope to be able to work with the Mexican government to be able to buy food and then to be able to send it and to be able to assist the Cuban people.
And there's also Belizean students across here.
The Belizean students we have been in constant communications with them, both Minister Fonseca and Minister Bernard. The time when I did a state visit to Cuba, Minister Bernard was with us, and he set up a chat between the students that are studying medicines. So he's in constant communications with them. Pretty much every year on his initiative and other families and myself, we would buy a container load of goods of food that we would send for them for students so they can share, and we'll continue to do that. We're going to ensure that that they are safe, that they have access to food, and if at any time they believe that they want to come home, well, that's on them. But so far, all of the students have been saying that they want to stay in Cuba, they like being there, and they want to continue to stay in university to be able to finish the studies that they've been doing in Cuba.
And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
From whiskeys and wines to elegantly crafted cocktails, paired with charcuterie boards and perfectly seasoned steak bites, and much more. Perfect for celebrations, quiet nights, and every special occasion in between. 7 Notes Wine and Spirits, where every sip hits the right note.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
The way some people are talking you'd never know, but the most blatant nepotism and fleecing of BTL took place under UDP when Dean Barrow was Prime Minister. Barrow placed his son Anwar on BTL's board in 2009 as soon as he nationalized the company, which would eventually cost Belizeans almost $650 million for shares barely worth $200 million. By 2014, Anwar was appointed executive chairman with extravagant salary and perks. Under him, BTL spent wildly on ventures that did not materialize and never brought any returns. Under the Barrows, BTL's profits plummeted from $38 million in 2009 to $17 million in 2019, and $10 million in 2020, as the company hardly paid dividends to government and people of Belize. Anwar Barrow has no moral authority to talk about BTL, as it was under his nepotistic rule, appointed by his father, that BTL was most blatantly fleeced.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio, 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
This building that we have gotten, the Welcome Center, is not just walls and it's not just here to beautify the Punta Gorda town and as an extension the Toledo district and Belize, but it's also here to play a main purpose and a role, and that is to continue to promote our tourism sector in Belize. This provides us a platform and a venue for us to be able to do multiple things in working towards enhancing the tourism environment in Toledo and really showcasing it not only to locals but also to our international guests, which are paramount for us to continue to grow this industry.
This project, like others that we're working on throughout the country, was designed and is being delivered by Belizeans. We have spoken to the communities, we've spoken to tourism stakeholders and what needs to be done to ensure that we have the necessary infrastructure to improve the quality of the visitor experience.
The International Organization for Migration, IOM, with funding from the European Union, EU, has delivered additional MIDAS equipment to Belize's Ministry of Immigration to support the country's border management modernization efforts. The latest donation includes the 4 switches, 60 passport readers, and 25 webcams, complementing earlier EU-funded equipment such as desktops and servers. The total value of the MIDAS equipment provided under this initiative now exceeds $458,266.11. This upgrade improves the automation of data collection at border points, enabling faster and more accurate processing, reducing human errors, and easing the workload on border officers. For travelers, it means smoother entry procedures, enhanced data security, and greater confidence in border operations. The project is part of a wider EU and IOM-led effort to strengthen Belize's integrated border management strategy, aligning it with international best practices. EU officials emphasized their experience and ongoing collaboration with Belize to improve border systems through innovative solutions. Moving forward, IOM will assist with system deployment, staff training, and development sustainable tools and procedures to ensure the MIDAS system long-term effectiveness. These enhancements aim to create a more secure, efficient, and reliable immigration system in Belize. The government of Belize, through the Ministry of Public Utilities, Energy, and Logistics, reaffirmed its strong commitment to regional energy cooperation during the leadership transition ceremony of the Latin American and Caribbean Energy Organization. Belize's representative, Dr. Leroy Almendares, Chief Executive Officer, addressed regional leaders, ministers, ambassadors, and stakeholders, emphasizing the importance of regional unity in ensuring energy security and advanced sustainable development across Latin America and the Caribbean. OLACDE has been a key platform for regional energy collaboration for over 50 years, bringing together 27 member states and observers. The organization has played a vital role in fostering cooperation among energy-rich and developing nations, working to harmonize policies, technology, investments, and regulations across the region. At the ceremony, member states officially re-elected Mr. Andres Rebolledo Smithmans as Executive Secretary for the 2026-2029 term. A former Chilean Minister of Energy and the outgoing Secretary, Rebolledo's new term comes at a critical time when Latin America and the Caribbean face the challenge of strengthening energy security while transitioning to renewable and sustainable energy sources in an inclusive manner. Member states are urged to move beyond dialogue into concrete actions to ensure no country is left behind in this green transition. On behalf of Belize's government, Dr. Almendares expressed full support for Rebolledo's leadership and emphasized Belize's commitment to regional priorities, including universal and equitable energy access, enhanced regional energy security, harmonized regulations to facilitate cross-border electricity trade, mobilization of investments in renewable energy, and ensuring long-term energy resilience and sovereignty. He highlighted that regional integration remains a key strength, noting that by pooling resources, standardizing regulations, and harnessing collective market power, Latin America and the Caribbean can turn their abundant natural resources into sustainable prosperity for all people. Belize's stance underscores the importance of collaboration and shared efforts to achieve a resilient, inclusive, and sustainable energy future for the region. And that's the news. We leave you with the highlights of this morning's Child Stimulation Month opening parade, which saw the participation of 22 preschools. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Tuesday, March 4th here on CTV3 News and Face FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.
Thank you.